inauguration ceremony organized by Bangladesh Law Society US Incorporated. এটা সবাইকে আমি আসসালামু আলাইকুম, নমস্তে, আদাব জানিয়ে আমার বক্তব্য শুরু করছি। আজকের অধ্যক্ষার সভার মিস্টার চিফ গেস্ট, permanent representative to the United Nations, Dr. Abdul Momen, special guest, Mr. Daniel Darby, Dean of the Faculty, Toru Law College, and other advisors of the Bangladesh Law Society sitting in the stage, and distinguished guests, my friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. এটা স্বাধীনতার মাস, অত্যন্ত দুঃখের সাথে বলতে হচ্ছে যে আমাকে ইংরেজিতে বলতে হবে, আনফরচুনেটলি because there are some guests, they don't understand what I'm speaking. For the interest of all of the people understanding, I want to say that Bangladesh Law Society is a very important professional organization organized in this country. It is one of the important and most organized professional association in the United States. We have more than 120 professional advocates, and out of them we have a lot of attorneys who are working in the United States, having United States legal license. And some of the students of the members of the organization are going to the college also. They will be attorney very soon, with a very bright future. What we have done in the past, it doesn't matter. What we can do in future, it matters. There are a lot of failures, it doesn't matter. We will try to do our best. And on this ceremonial organization, I congratulate those members who have been elected for 2 years, for 2014 and 2015, as a member of the Bangladesh Law Society. I will expect from them, they will try their best to make the reputation of this organization as a professional organization. And I, as a member, I will try my level best. I will appreciate and I will cooperate and coordinate with you any way I can. And what we are doing, and one of my friends has told that we have failures. Yes, we have failures. And failure is the pillar of success. If you don't fail, then how will you succeed in life? So, we will learn lessons from our inexperienced wrongdoings and mistakes, and we will do our best. And now, we will have a lot of future activities so that people will not have any confusion or concerns on what we can do, what we can't do. As a matter of fact, in this country we are all busy. We are advocates, but we are not attorney here, some of us. But we are doing very good job in this country. So with that background, we can contribute to the community of Bangladesh in different ways with our practical knowledge, experience, education, skills. So I will expect that all of us will try to contribute to the community so that our next generations who are living here, who are not getting good education or they are not getting the guidance and instructions, we will provide them through our organizations. And we will have a lot of job seminars. Those who have no job, they will get the job. And we will have some projects through which we can contribute some money and we'll pay back to our country. We have the education from Dhaka University, Chittoor University, different universities of the whole country. So we have money, we have resources. We'll try our best to make special scholarships to the students of our country through Law Society so that we can make as a role model, we can make an examples for the future generations to come. So only making picnic and making gathering, making tea party will not help us. We have to do some constructive. So we will make sure that if any of you have any bright idea, you provide us, we will work accordingly. And we have our office, in the office of founding president, Mr. Advocate Shamsul Doha. If you have any information, anything you want to know, we will provide you. And we have a plan to make Bangladesh Law Society Journal. And all of our informations, our presented desk, permanent desk, our profession, our educational background, everything will be incorporated in that journal. So we will have everything at a glance for our society. For these information, I will try to give information as much as I can. I'll try the present committee to help to make sure that they publish the Bangladesh Law Society Journal by hook or by crook, by any means, for the best interest of the members of the society and for the future generations. So I will not make my speech long. I can speak for hours and hours, but we have a lot of learned guests, honorable members, advisors, so many speakers. We will listen to them carefully so that we can learn and we can have lessons from them as our senior people. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. Good night. And Bangladesh Jindabad, United States America Jindabad. Allah Hafiz.
ধন্যবাদ ওয়াজিউল্লাহ। আমরা এখনই উত্তর পর্বে চলে যাব। এর আগে আমাদের শর্ট স্পিচ দেওয়ার জন্য আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি অ্যাডভোকেট মিল্লাত উদ্দিনকে। অ্যাডভোকেট মিল্লাত উদ্দিন। এর পরবর্তীতে আমি নির্বাচন কমিশনারকে ভোট করার জন্য প্রস্তুত হওয়ার জন্য অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি।
Today's chief guest, Mr. Dr. Abdul Momen, our special guest, Mr. Daniel Darby, and Advocate Mr. Terry Silver, our distinguished members of the old executive committee members, as well as the newly elected members of the executive committee, our distinguished lawyer and peers, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the news and the media and TV. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. I'm really glad to be here today in front of you because after we did our election, now today is the day we would like to have our swearing ceremony, which is really good for us. We have a long 2 years ahead of us. I thank you very much to the Election Commission for performing a tremendous election. Although between the election and today there was some kind of informal activities went on, I give credit especially to our President and Secretary for calling me to get a formal way of oath ceremony to be conducted here in presence of all the distinguished lawyer members so that the actual transfer of the power can be made publicly, which would facilitate us and our learned brothers who didn't see the informal swearing ceremony, so they feel like they have been honored also. So I give full credit for these understanding, especially our newly elected members, that they have realized the importance of constitutional law when we run this particular association. My fellow brothers, I had a little experience when I went through the election. I have found that our constitution is suffering from a lot of irregularities, and the articles and sequences we have are not very formal and consecutive. Eventually, I would like to suggest our newly elected members of the executive committee to appoint a constitution writing committee so that they can prepare a draft for the understanding of our distinguished members, so eventually that could be accepted for our future activities. In addition to that, I would also request our elected executive committee that we need to chart out a well-calibrated program so that eventually in advance we all can know that what is happening in short time and eventually in the longer distance. Understanding the situation that I'm not going back to the background how our outgoing executive committee has performed their activities, but we have a kind of sense and understanding that it was always some kind of, mismanagement or some kind of bickering went on. I hope we can work in an intellectual environment, and especially when distinguished people meet together, we should forsake erratic behavior, indecent and discourteous behavior, which does not match with our distinction and education. I think instead of being insolent and discourteous, I think if we behave in a nice way, your rank is going up instead of being scaling down. So we have to remember that we are all birds of the same feather. We would like to work together in a shared mentality. I do understand one thing, that we as a lawyer, each of us have our own distinct opinion. We may differ in our opinion and ideas, but for common ground, to understand and to reach to a common ground, we have to compromise between ourselves. That way, I think that any problem that comes ahead of us, we can solve those kind of problems. So I would like to request our distinguished members, the elected members also, to especially consider one thing. The constitution we have, this is a setup like a constitution in a government where there is two or multiple political parties. But in an organization like this, that kind of constitution don't work as much as it is working in governmental setup. So because we don't have any we have a non-party or no political affiliation. So since we work, once the members become elected in the organization, then the general members feel like they have been excluded from the situation. So I would request also to make a special panel with a number of 3 to 4 persons who can suggest to the executive committee that yes, depending on the current events and situations in Bangladesh and internationally, they can suggest the executive committee that we need to have some kind of hearing or discussion about the current political situation or our social problem. I think unless, and also, I also have a feeling like in most of the meetings I don't see too many people are attending in the meeting. The last meeting I saw about 5 to 10 number was gathering out of 120. So we'd like to suggest to the committee that in future you think about the idea how we can increase the number of members or participate in any particular meeting so that even beyond the quorum we have our attendance in a meeting, which is very much required, because if you don't patronize and if our attendance is not value-based, and if our attendance does not mean only to have the $4 biryani or food and thereafter we just dismiss ourselves, I think that's not going to work. So these are the few suggestions, but again, I was a candidate. It didn't work out well for me, but hoping in future I would extend my full cooperation to the new elected committee. And I thank you. At the same time, I thank you very much, the outgoing committee, for doing a tremendous job. And also I would like to thank for future the incoming committee member. And thank you, distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Millat.